be stuff at World too. Hey everybody, happy Monday and HOWELL. Yes, I'm going to a football game tonight, JV version. This is Mallory's first night cheerleading high school football.
That's crazy.
Okay,
It's like crazy talk that you're doing right now.
She was 2 months old when we started the show. So they were on the news last week. They had like the news programs went to all the high schools for like kickoffs, the morning shows. And so I'm running on the treadmill. She's like, we're going to be on at 5:30, from 5:30 to 7, the crazy wacky guy, they throw out to him and, the band plays and stuff. They're out on the football field. Dude, I was like choking up on the football field, on the treadmill, because ever since Mallory was in 6th grade, she's been doing the fight song in the living room. Like she learned it by, we went to all the football games and she'd watch them on Instagram and she'd do it in our living room, wanting to be a high school cheerleader. And then like I saw her on the news. I'm like, oh my God, my daughter's doing the fight song at Francis Howell on the football field. Oh, I'm so happy. So, but tonight it'll be really, because this is for real, dude. They cheer. So JV.
I'm excited for her because I know she's wanted this for so long, like this part of it. Yes. Not that she hasn't cheered all along, but this is different. Like it's kind of different.
And she gave up the all-star cheer because she couldn't do both. Like we had to give up the all-star because the practices were all at the same time.
Right.
So she wanted to do high school, so that was better. So
I don't blame her. Yeah.
It's going to be fun. I don't have any boys, so I don't have any football players. So cheerleaders is where it's at. So I get to go to all the football games.
There you go.
I go to a lot. So Monday night, JV, Thursday night, Mizzou. Friday night is our biggest football game against a team from down almost to Arkansas. We'll have probably 5,000 people at the game on Friday night because it's first responders and military night. There's a live stream. I know you'll probably be busy, but I'll send you the link. It is crazy. It is crazy. They bring in the football in a helicopter and they have a flyover at our high school, like for military night, like a jet.
Wow.
It is nuts. Like, this is why I know I died and went to heaven when we moved out here. Because we went to the first game, like, dude, they dropped the football off with a helicopter. Like the medevac helicopter comes in, the dude jumps out, gives the football to the ref. Everybody cheers, goes nuts. They bring it, like the Patriot Guard comes in. There's Harleys all around the entire track. They bring
gosh.
It is nuts. Yeah, there's a flower, plane goes over. It's like, dude, am I at Mizzou? What? They had a guy play the Star Spangled Banner on, like, he was like Lenny Kravitz. It was a parent who was a famous, like, musician, like, years ago, but he's like
wow. They're serious about it.
Oh, my God. It was so awesome. I was like, this is great. Let's see. Oh my gosh, congratulations, Fulton, on going to state in softball. That is awesome.
That's very cool.
Yes, rock on, because I was a baseball player, so get it. Yes, congratulations out in Indiana. That is awesome. Keep us up to date on that's going. Rockin' Rookies. Hello to Rob and Rob. Oh, wait, hang on. Rob is he's on Facebook and YouTube apparently at the same time. Yeah, we try to do it like we do in the South here in Missouri. It's pretty awesome. I'm so happy. Ron Lee, Canada. Hey, okay, so we gotta get cracking because I got a football game to get to. So
let's do it.
Go dog. Okay, here we go. I got some questions. If you have questions, put them in the old. We love good questions. So here's a complicated one to start off with. That's not that complicated. We'll do it. Here we go. Let me hit that real quick. Change that real quick. Wait. Windows, because the only time I use it is for this show. All right, here we go. Wait, what number? 2146, I think. Yep. Welcome to episode 2146 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over here at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. And we are, just so you know, countdown to kickoff 24 hours before the start of the Mizzou football season. Excited is an understatement here in the middle of our country, in SEC country. Excited for some football tomorrow night as our Tigers kick off a little bit early and just an exciting time here in Missouri. Football is back. The Cardinals are playing pretty well. I know I probably just cursed them. They'll probably go on a 10-game losing streak. I am so sorry to all the Cardinal fans, but hey, it's a good time. And so many great things happening at the Disney destinations. We have news with Disney Cruise Line. We have a lot of stuff going on down at Walt Disney World, Disneyland. It's a good time to be to just be alive and have a good time. So today, and we're glad you're here. So we're going to answer some listener questions for you as we do every Wednesday. You get the Pam and Mike show, which is actually my life all the time because my wife's name is Pam. So it's like, it's always Pam and Mike in my life. But today it's Pam Forrester, co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. What's up, Pam Forrester? How's it going?
Happy Wednesday. I know it's going great. It's going great. And I want to give a little bit of Disney Cruise Line news before we start. But before I do that, I would just want to say thank you to, we have so many listeners who book with the travel agency, and we're so appreciative of that. Being part of the process of planning vacations is really the best part of our job. Just being a part of that many different memories. We get such nice emails and surveys from our guests. So I want to say that first of all, but great big news to share in the world of Disney Cruise Line cruising. And starting at the end of September, we are going to see Disney Cruise Line dropping the pre-testing before you board the cruise for guests who are vaccinated of any age, actually. Emails went out at some point today. They were doing some emailing, and some of it they just hoped that we would disperse down through to our guests. So I know so many people were waiting for that time, and it's not, I think, that people were really opposed to testing. I think what it did is sort of added a layer of anxiety to getting on the ship,
okay.
right?
That's so far the understatement of 2022. Right there.
Right. I know. It was.
For my guests over at the Magic for Less, just from my subset of guests, yes, a little anxiety would be the word. Yes.
I know, right? And that's what it was.
I mean, too. Yeah.
Yes. So many people really had no symptoms. People who tested positive had no symptoms and didn't even know that they were positive. And then there were, that small percentage of people that were in that case and then had to sort of pivot, as they say, right, and deal with that. So anyways, we're so glad to see that drop, and Disney Cruise Line's in line with the other cruise lines now. So it's a good day. It's a good day to sort of celebrate another step to getting back to what we knew life to be. So awesome.
Mm-hmm. Noses around the United States say salute. They're excited. No, I've gotten great feedback from my guests that are sailing, because again, when these kind of news breaks, guests get emails, see it on social media, and of course we always have that conversation. I always get the emails, Mike, I saw this. What's going on? I'm like, same thing that was in the email. It's September 23rd. It's, all the ships with the Magic. The Magic is in November. They're not lying. It's
right. It's 100% true.
But it's excitement is what I've gotten from my guests. And again, I think it's exactly what you said. It's just that, it's one less variable at this point where, because we've gone through this, and I understand that everything had to be a process from I believe it was August. Like I went down for that kind of return to sailing where they were trying to get people to see what's this going to be like when we get, because again, I was talking to Pam about this, my wife, the other night at dinner, and it hasn't really been that long in the grand scheme of things.
I know.
But when you think about it, there was a long time where all the cruise ships were just parked. All around the world, not just Disney Cruise Line, every cruise ship was parked. Nobody was sailing anywhere. And, now it kind of seems like we are almost there. We're like pretty close. We're pushing almost to the kind of the final shoot in a running term. And, we got the character meet and greets going back to normal with Disney Cruise Line here very shortly, like in the next couple of weeks. And it's just one of those things, though, that, I like you said, I think it's just that folks were very nervous. But even since we had that over the past year or so, I had very few guests that were ever affected by it, but I guarantee you I had many, many guests that had sleepless nights over it.
That's it. In the big picture of things, we actually did have relatively few guests who were ever impacted by it, but every time I cruised, I thought of it. Like literally every time I did, I'm like, gosh, you like start thinking to yourself, is that a tickle in my throat?
No, it's just it's I had Chipotle. You know,
Right, exactly. I'm like, oh my gosh, my nose is running. Yes, ma'am. Your nose is running probably every spring, every fall. Like it's seasonal allergies. It's the one that you take the allergy pill for. Remember that? I mean, it's so stupid. But anyways, yeah. So there won't be the worry about that for sure. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing to see all these Disney destinations and all the different cruise lines to be able to do their best to recover in terms of their business. I mean, that's a big mountain for them to climb. So it's good to see that there's a way out.
yeah, we'll get to the questions here, but I think the cruise lines have really kind of been a model, not just Disney Cruise Line, but the cruise line industry in general. Really,
Yes.
I mean, they were very restrictive in how they returned to sailing, and they went through a lot of protocols, and I think they really did it right, and they're continuing. I mean, that's their business. They don't want to have outbreaks and stuff like
Mm-mm.
that. So
No.
they're going to continue to make sure that everybody's safe at sea and everybody has a good time. But they also want to make it, the best thing about cruising. Scott and I were talking about this on Sunday night. The very best thing about cruising is that you totally get to escape reality for a little bit. When you're out to sea, there's something about the water. There's something about being
Yeah.
detached from the real world. You're in beautiful places. You're totally unattached from a schedule like you normally on land. And this is just a return to that. So I'm excited for that. I'm so
Agreed.
excited for the podcast cruise in July. I cannot.
I know, right? It's coming. I like it will be here before we know it because we know how quickly time goes. And every year as you get older, don't you feel like it goes a little
Oh
faster? It's
man, my kids cheered high school tonight. What is going on? I'm
I
only
know, right?
24. I know it's messed up. Okay, let's get to the questions. We don't want to bait and switch you. That's why you're here. And Brooke has a question. It says, first Christmas at Disney. Hey, BOGP crew. We are going on our first holiday trip to Disney World at the beginning of December. We received a deal for 4 nights off property. We're attending the Christmas party one day and we'll spend that morning or afternoon checking out the Magic Kingdom resorts before we can enter the park for the party. We'll be at Disney Springs the first night. I can't decide how to structure the other 2 days. She has 2 options. Option 1, day 1 to go to Hollywood Studios and Epcot on that day. Day 2, look at the decorations at the other resorts, play putt-putt, other non-park things. Or her other option is to have day 1 at the studios and day 2 at Epcot. So 1 day at each park. She says, go at a slower pace and possibly set aside time in the morning or evening to see the Epcot resorts. We've been to Disney World several times, so this trip is mostly about enjoying the holiday festivities for the first time. Thanks. Brooke is from Tuscaloosa, where I hear they have a little football team. She says, roll tide, beat Utah State this weekend. All right. So what would you do? Would you take the studios and Epcot in one day and then take the other day to, full day to kind of go to do, Winter Summerland, Disney? Well, they're already going to go to Disney Springs, but other resorts, that kind of stuff, or full day at Epcot, full day at the Springs, because they want to focus on the holidays. What would you do?
I would do full day.
Same.
Full day at Epcot and full day at Hollywood Studios, right? That's what you get. That's what
that was
other
their second
choice.
option. That's what I would do too.
Okay, yeah. There's first of all, Epcot is one of my favorite parks. And I guess I could say that. One of my 4 favorite parks. No.
Epcot in the top 4. I mean, maybe 5,
No, Epcot ranks up there as number 1-ish all the time in my book, right? And especially now with the new attractions that are there, the Guardians of the Galaxy, but you're going to be able to also they have the Epcot Festival of help
holidays.
Me out. Thank you. I think it is holidays. Why isn't there an alliteration there?
I'm just saying it's a crazy name, Festival of the Holidays. I mean, it's just like it's on point.
I wanted to say Festival of Fun. I wanted it to be, something like that.
Mickey's Not So Scary for Holidays or something.
Exactly. But the Festival of the Holidays also includes food booths, so you'll have the opportunity to sort of snack around, do the attractions. Of course, I think that Epcot has some great attractions in addition to just the awesomeness of being able to walk around Epcot, which is, I think when you're trying to describe to someone Epcot, it's like you go there, you sort of walk around all day, you visit these different countries, and people are like, "Oh, is that fun?" And you're like, "Yeah, it's really fun."
Especially the holidays, because you're not fighting the hot weather. Like you have more
Yes.
stamina.
Right. And the other reason why I would choose one day in each park is that at night, especially at the holidays, both of these parks are just so awesome. And there's awesome things to do in both parks, right? For one, in Epcot, you're going to want to see the beacons of magic on Spaceship Earth. You're going to. And then over in Hollywood Studios, they have some of the most awesome holiday decorations of any of the parks.
Poodles,
right? The spaghetti poodles are awesome. They really are. But just everything there, it just so fits in with the theme of the Hollywood Studios, and there's neon, and it's awesome. So I would really take both, a day for both, and I don't think you'll regret it. And for nothing else, to fully enjoy the nighttime activities that are available then.
So here's what I would do to kind of help her out here is that, okay, so you do the full day. I would totally do that. Epcot one day, Studios one day. But if you want to see the resorts too, and I encourage you to do that, I would say go to Epcot early, right when it opens, take a midday break and go over and just do the loop of Beach Club, Yacht Club, Boardwalk, make an ADR at a restaurant, say like an Ale and Compass or Cafe Cafe. But I mean, it's hard to say because Epcot's got so many great dining locations within the park. Because I mean, you could do Space 220, you could do Garden Grill, you could do anywhere around World Showcase. But I mean, I would still, maybe, dine at one of the hotels, maybe Trattoria El Forno. But you want to get around and see that kind of stuff. And then when you're at the studios, you might do the same thing where you could hop the Skyliner maybe midday to get out of the park, kind of take a break, go over to the Riviera, maybe do Primo Piatto for a counter service lunch. If you want to do that, or you could do something like, if you could get a why am I blanking on the place at the top of the Riv, the fancy place that has the character
Topolino's.
I mean, you could do that, for a meal. Is
this what our podcast is going to become? Like we each help each other out with
we're like the old couple. We can't put anything together today. So exactly that's what happens when you've been doing this for 15 years.
Exactly.
With magic. Anyway, but I mean, you could go to Sebastian's Bistro.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of an underrated, kind of under the radar place at Caribbean Beach. See those. There's a lot of options. You don't have to be in the park the whole day, but you do when it's not so hot. And definitely, there's so much to see, especially at Epcot, because you got all those storytellers. Around World Showcase. That's something to not just. You just don't want to be like, Chevy Chase and, National Lampoon's Vacation at the Grand Canyon. Like, okay, let's go. You want to actually listen to the stories.
Yeah. Don't just check a box. Experience it.
That's a good. You should put that on a plaque. Don't just check a box. All right. Next question is from Stephanie. Hello, Mike and the fabulous BOGP crew. Okay, I'm going to revive an old favorite question with a twist. When do you think Woody's Backyard Roundup Rodeo Barbecue will open? And there's a lot of words in that. Is that really what it's called? Woody's Backyard Roundup Rodeo Barbecue. Does it have all those names? That's a long sign.
It's there's some alliteration going on there too.
It is a lot. They said 2022, but the clock is ticking on this year. Will this be another Space 220? What do you all think? Another related question. Any thoughts on 1900 Park Ferry opening? It's a family favorite and we're missing it. Have a great week. And thanks as always for making my drive to work a little happier. Stephanie is out in Boise, Idaho, home of the blue turf. Speaking of college football. All right. First of all, what do you think about, let's just call it Woody's Barbecue.
Yeah, let's just do that. Yes.
Let's get to the point. It's Woody's and it's barbecue. By the way, the Wish with a cantina and barbecue are sailing the right ship for the podcast cruise. God help us. You can't.
I don't know that we're going to get you in the dining room.
No, that's what I'm saying. Okay, if we're not at tequila tasting, we will either be at the cantina or eating ribs. So you will not have any problem finding us. But back to the question at hand for Stephanie. What do you think about Woody's? I haven't heard much about it lately, to be honest. This is where we need Ricky.
I haven't either, and so that's what makes me think it's going to be later rather than sooner, because usually when we're making progress on something, you hear reports either from cast members who were involved in the process, or they've hired cast members, or they've, you know what I mean? You get that, or you have guests who saw the progress, saw it being built, blah, blah, blah. And I think that that's the area of there being staffing is something that continues to plague Disney and every other business in the world. So that may be the thing that is delaying it more than other things. I don't know. No insider information. I hate to even hazard a guess as to it, because I think for the past couple of years, we've proven probably a few times over that our guesses are not that good. So
But here's the thing. Okay, so I am not joking about this. I mentioned less than 24 hours ago when we did the Sunday Night Live call-in show, the Disney Cruise Line was being cautious and dragging their feet with change of vaccination rules. It happened again within 12 hours. Like, we make stuff happen. So if you are eating ribs this weekend in the studios, you're welcome. I'm just saying, like, if all of a sudden, Woody's out there, like, come on, here's a bib.
Right.
Come on in. Just don't get barbecue sauce on your white pants. That's us.
I know. Maybe we'll get like a little one of the things on Disney Parks blog where we're like, they're testing out different foods or whatever, something like that to give us a little more information on that. But yeah, I know it's a great question. And the studios needs another restaurant so badly, so badly.
This one's going to be a huge hit. I mean, this one is 100% necessary. It's needed.
Yes.
They need this restaurant.
They do. And I hope they're consulting with the guys who do Polite Pig. Let's just say that, right?
Yeah, they should get with the guys who do Polite Pig and then Flame Tree. And then just like, do you remember those old cartoons with like Pepe Le Pew? Like, I'll just be floating with my nose.
Right.
Where's Mike going? I don't know. Exactly. The barbecue. Exactly.
Exactly.
So good. So what about 1900 Park Fair? That one is kind of strange because, again, it's probably staffing. I would say they were using it kind of for overflow over at the Grand Floridian Cafe or something.
They were.
They were using it for kind of a weird usage, but I think they want to bring it back if they can.
I would think so too. And I wonder if they're going to take the opportunity to sort of reimagine that at that point. I will say I liked eating there. I thought it was a great addition to the Grand Floridian because there's so many people with kids who are staying there. I will say the music from the organ, that played while you were in there at times was overwhelming. It was just loud at different times and whatnot. And so I'm not saying that I know that anyone else felt the same way, but if I get to vote, I would say, let's take the organ out. And let's make it a character meal. I think we should really just go with the theme at the Grand Floridian. If it's going to be Mary Poppins, now Citrico's has that Mary Poppins theme and whatnot. I would love to see that be at the Grand Floridian. I would love to see Mary and Bert and the penguins
exactly. I mean,
right
for races. Yeah.
Yes, I think that would be so awesome and just so in theme and in keeping with the Grand Floridian. So there's my vote for that.
Today, by the way, is we're recording 58th anniversary of Mary Poppins. Shout out.
That.
Look at that. It's full of trivia. That's what you get for going on.
Wow.
I know. All right, Kevin's in our live chat. Thanks for being here, Kevin. We appreciate you. What do you guys think of the odds that Be Our Guest restaurant returns to quick service lunch? That was kind of an interesting thing where it was a hybrid restaurant, quick service lunch and full service table service dinner. I liked it. Did you like that? I like that because it kind of hit two different audiences, and don't take this the wrong way, but it gave cheapskates like me an reason to get in there and enjoy the environment at a lower cost point and also at a quicker pace. But that's not the question. It's not asking if Mike's cheap because everybody knows I am. What's the odds? I would say low because, again, I think that it's easier to go all in on one way or the other, and the higher kind of return per table is going to be table service.
I agree. That's where I'm at. I say if we're gonna do over under, I say 20% or less. That it returns to that. So that's where I'm at. I agree with you too, Mike. I think there's a lot of transition that comes with converting a restaurant from one to the other. And I think the other thing is, especially at the Magic Kingdom, they tend to have those dinner times start a little earlier. So that leaves the actual window for lunchtime to be rather small. So those are all things that sort of are contributing to my best guess.
Yep, we'll see. All right, Zach has a question. I like this one. Heading to Disneyland in November. We booked dining next week. What's one must-do dining reservation to have? So I love that I can answer these questions. Oh, okay. Well, one is Blue Bayou for me. I mean, we had that meal there. It was our last night at Disney. It was perfect. It was the last night at Disneyland. We were eating in Pirates of the Caribbean. We were having Monte Cristos. We had a hurricane. I mean, hello. It was, and that thing was so good, the Monte Cristo. And it was just, I was there with my family, my best bud and his family. I mean, like, this is it. Like, I just remember that night thinking, this is it. I mean, this is just as good as it gets for me right now as a Disney fan. Like, I could not have been happier. I loved Blue Bayou, everything about it, but also counter service Hungry Bear. I am going to get a shirt that says I am the Hungry Bear fan club. I love that place. And I didn't even really know it existed before we went out there. I thought it was cool.
It's a fun place.
It is kind of hidden away.
Okay, so I'm going to give two because, that's my prerogative. I usually give.
He's not here, so why not?
I usually give two. So I am going to say, if you're looking for a really nice meal, a nice sit-down meal, Napa Rose cannot be beat. It is fantastic. The setting's great. The servers are fantastic. And the food is so, so good. It's over at the Grand Californian. So check that one out. And then I will give one over for Disney's California Adventure, and that is the Lamplight Lounge. It's just a really cool location. You can sit outside or you can sit inside, has good food, great drinks. That's a great location too.
If you sit outside, you hear Dash going on California screaming the whole time. Not California screaming, the credit coaster.
You don't, believe it or not. And I don't know why. Maybe they have whatever, but no, you don't hear that. But you do need to go to the bathroom. That's the one thing I will say there too.
Okay. See, I didn't go. Scott went there the night we went to the Dodgers game, so I missed out on that one. So
yeah, it's a good
next time. I got to go back. Okay. Andrew's got a question. What's a better attraction to catch at the Magic Kingdoms, Mickey's Magical Friendship Fair or the Festival of Fantasy Parade? And I think you're just trying to do that to see if I can pronounce them. And I 50% on that. I give myself a C. Yeah. Mickey's Magical Friendship Fair. I can't even remember what that is. It's
like the Castle Forecourt show.
Okay, good to see. I never watched it. I'm going Festival of Fantasy because I like that parade. My issue is it's a sucker bet for me. Okay, now here's why. I love the parade. I think it's well done. I think it was more well done pre-COVID. It was bigger, but it's a great parade. But the thing is, if I stay to see this parade, I just mess myself up because I'm a midday break person. And if you wait around to see this and then try to take your midday break, you're too late. Like you got to commit to the midday break by at least you got to be rolling out of that park at like 12:30. If you try to stay around till like 2 to see this parade and you try to take a midday break, you're done. Like, because you're by the time you take your break, your evening's is shot. So it's a great thing, but you got to be in for the whole day. This would be like a Ricky. Ricky doesn't watch parades, but she doesn't take breaks. Like, it's great if you're staying in the park the whole day. I like Festival of Fantasy. Long answer. What do you say to that?
Well, she doesn't have to take a break because she doesn't get there until like noon.
She's rolling in when the parade is coming down Main Street. Like, that's right. Is exactly what that is.
So I was going to say Festival of Fantasy Parade too. And if I had to give one reason why, the dragon, boom, mic drop. It's awesome. I mean, that's one of my favorite parts. Now, I like all of the parade, but the fact that Maleficent is back in the parade, she's there. I think that's totally worth seeing. And you get to see so many different characters. And the other reason is that unlike the shows that take place there at the Castle Forecourt, there are all kinds of different great locations to see the parade from. You can go where it starts, where it ends, in the middle, in Frontierland or on Main Street or one of those, where I feel like the ability to see, get a great viewing location for the castle shows is a little more challenging.
I like the guys from is it Brave, I think, or where they swing back and forth on
Yes,
axes?
yes.
That's a great float. That's a
It
great
is. It's really cool.
It's got the motion. That's pretty fun. All right, Nathan's got a question. Hey, Mike, just had a quick question. I'd heard on the podcast the other day someone asking something similar about a Guardians reservation during after hours. My question is about after Wine and Dine race. Is the Wine and Dine race after party? Will they open up a reservation booking period, or is it first come, first serve for Guardians? Leaving for Universal in a couple of weeks. I know we'll have fun, but I don't seem as fired up as I normally am for a Disney trip. Thanks, Nathan. Nathan, you're going to have a good time over at Universal.
Yeah, 100%.
But so these after hour events, though, I believe the Guardians is just first come, first served, right? I mean, do they do that during the after hours events? I haven't been to one yet.
And I don't think that they've been doing that, but the for this Wine and Dine race, there's been nothing put out saying that there was going to be a virtual queue for this race. Unlike the after hours that are available to the guest staying on the deluxe and the deluxe property, you do have the option of securing another shot at the virtual queue, but I have not heard about them doing it for these kind of race events at this point.
That's true, because it was open in May, and it's first race weekend since, so we'll see. But I would imagine, I don't know, we'll see. It's only a hard ticket event. I'm trying to think, that party is usually like 3 or 4 hours long. I usually don't go to it, I'll be honest, because I'm not a night person. But again, probably the fifth thing we've said today, that I'm an old dude. For me, but we'll put that out there as we find out more information. Oh, did you happen to see the medals for Marathon Weekend today?
Yes, I did.
Okay, these are kind of polarizing. What were your thoughts? Because they were very different. The most they're gonna stand out on my wall. Let me just say, in my Adobe collection, if I finish.
I will. They seem to have a different look about them, but but I like that we're getting something new, right? This won't get lost in the crowd. So
yeah, these would have looked good in Spinning Wheels Roller Rink back in the day. I'm just saying, man.
Yes.
These things, I like them. I mean, the thing is, like, I got so many medals that look very similar, right? Over the years at this point, that they all look kind of similar. These do not look similar. These are, I mean, Disney, I got to give them Run Disney, man. They went all, like, somebody must have said, okay, I just would love to be at these meetings, right? These brainstorming meetings, like, all right, how far do you want to lean into this 90s thing? Like,
right.
Okay, so we're going to have this merch. Okay. That merch is kind of cool. People might buy that, leg warmers at the expo. Probably not, but we'll see, and everybody will buy it because it's, it's runners and we're all crazy. But the thing is, okay, here's the medals. They're probably like, whoa, those suckers are bright. And they do not look like any other medals we've ever done. But you know what? I mean, there's something that are just going to be fun. And I mean, they do look different, but I'm kind of excited. I like it. You'll definitely remember these medals over other races.
You'll feel like you're in the Goofy movie, I think, right? I mean, Powerline, to be singing and doing your anthem as you walk into a room wearing these. Yeah.
These have a look. They're very neon. They're very 90210. Like, when I saw them, I was like,
Brandon.
Exactly. I'm going to Scott and do the little thing that Dylan and Brandon used to do. Like, when we walk away. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Yeah, they got to look. All right. Oh, Kurt. Roll Tide, Kurt. Yes, he's down in Bama country. He says, Roll Tide, guys. What are Pam's top 3 lounges for my wife and I to visit? Speaking of Wine and Dine with no kids when they're down there for that weekend. So let's go with top 3.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
So I'm going to put Enchanted Rose there at the Grand Floridian. It is totally worth seeing. They have good food and good drinks. So you can get a little snack if you feel like you're needing it. If you're feeling peckish, as they say, you can get a little snack or a light meal there. And they have some great drinks. So try that. Wine Bar George over in the Springs, I think, is another great location for so many different reasons. Again, they have great food in addition to great drinks, and it's not just wine.
They have biscuits and gravy. Just say it. SEC fans, biscuits and gravy. I mean, done. Come on now. If you're a SEC fan, biscuits and gravy is a love language. Just say it.
They have a great charcuterie, all kinds of things. So Wine Bar George, yeah, it's a great location. And gosh, especially for a Disney fan, I think you got to stop by Trader Sam's. I mean, it's just, and you got to be inside. They have an outdoor sort of location, right? That's the outdoor part, but you want to be inside just to experience that. And you're going to get some kind of crazy drink. You're going to have the opportunity to buy the glass. And of course you want to buy the glass. I mean, how else would you remember this time there if you didn't buy the glass? So yeah, do that too.
I'm looking for my a thing. I don't know where it is. It's around here somewhere.
I know, right?
It floats around.
It always seems like a good idea to buy it when you're there, right? You're like, of course I want the glass. Yes.
Like it's like a baby taking it home. It's like, oh man, I paid like $50 for this thing. I got to get it. Exactly. TSA, don't break it. Got to pack it in the suitcase, and yeah, it gives you. It's like a challenge at that point. Got to get the sucker home. All right, next question. And roll tide, and God bless Saban. All right, that's for Scott. Justin's got a question. He says, possible Disney Park Day in Anaheim the Sunday after Thanksgiving. He says, hey, Mike, my family's traveling to Carlsbad, and I want to try to get a day out of one of the parks up north. It should be just about the perfect time to ask you which park we should do, since you just made your first trip out there and all your experiences are fresh. And also, I guess we can still somehow get you, let's see. Oh, hang on, skip that. Okay, so he says, 1, I'm assuming Disneyland is the way to go, but wondered if you thought of reasons we might want to do one park instead of the other. And 2, maybe a few top restaurants to try to get reservations for, which we just mentioned. As a reminder, I've got 2 boys, a 6-year-old and an almost 4-year-old at the time of the trip. Regards, Justin. And then he followed up. He says, he forgot to mention, we will likely check out of a nearby hotel Monday morning and want to hang around some Disney area during the workday for the family to have some places to visit outside of the parks and where I can work on my laptop. Maybe a shopping area or resort. Any thoughts, Justin? So first of all, downtown Disney, Disneyland is awesome. So I would work there, maybe go over to the Grand Californian, sit in their lobby's awesome. Disneyland Hotel's lobby is so super retro though. I go in there to plenty of places to work around there.
Yeah.
So that's the second part. Here's the thing. And I can't believe I'm saying this. He's got 2 boys that are 6 and 4, and they're going to go one day. God, it's killing me. I'm almost saying California Adventure.
Wow.
I mean, if it was Justin, I would say Disneyland, but God, there's so much to do for kids, like Cars Land, Credit Coaster. There's a lot. Critter Country, or the big water ride, which we didn't do.
Right.
I don't know. What do you? But Disney. Really, there's no wrong answer. I mean,
there isn't
tons, but I was just blown away by Cars Land. Cars Land it's my favorite land, even over Galaxy's Edge of all Disneylands.
Well, plus you have Avengers Campus too.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not a Marvel guy, but it was well done. I just
yeah,
I didn't get it all. I liked Pim's Test Kitchen though. I like my little bitty fork. Yeah,
right. I think there's no wrong answer too. Like I could make a case for either, but I'm going to sort of pile on to what Mike suggested, and just because while Disneyland and Magic Kingdom and Walt Disney World are similar, there are definitely some attractions that are at Disneyland that aren't in the Magic Kingdom. Disney's California Adventure only exists at the Disneyland Resort, right? There isn't a Disney's California Adventure in Walt Disney World or Disneyland Paris or other locations. And I think the Avengers Campus and Cars Land and whatnot, it does make it a really great location for anyone to visit. And it's just a very unique experience. So I think we're both kind of suggesting California Adventure.
And Scott says, again, because we had this conversation a lot while we were out there, Disney's California Adventure is his favorite theme park of all the theme parks. Now, Walt Disney World and Disneyland, California Adventure is his top of the 6.
Interesting.
Which I kind of see it. I mean, and the thing is, like, this is what's so weird until you have experiences, right? Going in, I was like, when I was making my theme park reservations, we had the 5-day hopper tickets.
Yeah.
It was killing me to make theme park reservations for California Adventure because I'm like, I just want to go to Disneyland 5 days. Like, I'm never gonna pop over there. I could care less. Like, it's the second park. And then when we went over there, I'm like, dang, this park is fun. Because it doesn't have the history, but that's the whole thing. It was so fun. It was just fun. It was cool. I loved it.
I agree. And it hasn't been there as long, but at the same time, it does, like, that whole Main Street area sort of gives tributes to Walt's journey. And I love that about it too. I really do. I so appreciate that. And yeah, I think it's a great park. I think that you'll go and enjoy it.
Sleeper hit was that Monsters Inc. little dark ride. I like that thing. We rode that 3 times because, not a line. And it's so well done, but it's way back there. You wouldn't even know it was there.
I know. It is back there.
It was fun. Okay. Last question of the day is from Emily. And you can tell, man, it must be almost September because it's another question about Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party.
Yes.
We're past Halloween already. It's not even Labor Day. See here. Hey, Mike and crew, love your show, and the tips that are shared from listeners are very much appreciated over the years. We love our listeners too. Taking my mom in her 80s to the world in December to enjoy the decorations. She doesn't ride many rides, but she loves the parades, the fireworks, and the shopping. I am wondering if tickets to the Very Merry Christmas Party would be worth the extra cost or better spent for something like a dessert party, if that is even offered during the holidays. To date, they aren't showing any dates in December. Any suggestions would be appreciated. Love your show. It helps the daily commute go by so quickly. Emily, I didn't know we had so many people commuting still, which I love that. If you are,
right?
Hey, my commute is from the bed to the basement. I mean, but if you're commuting, thanks for taking us along. Seriously, because I always wanted to work in radio. And if you're taking us in the car or on the train, that's awesome, man. I am so excited right now. Living the dream. But I say the party is made for your mom. I say absolutely do this. Do you agree?
I do too. Yeah, 100%. The parties are something that I think it's hard to sort of describe, but it's a great celebration of the holidays. I mean, that's what it is. I always said for years we would go to Walt Disney World for Christmas, and I always said it was such a nice experience because I let Disney decorate and I let Disney cook dinner and I let Disney do all those things. So that was really cool, and I think it just gives you an opportunity to sort of step out of your daily life, which around the holidays can get a little hectic, we all know, right? And really focus on the holidays and enjoying all those things that you don't have the time to really enjoy when you're at home. So love it.
And the Christmas party is really, to me, what it is. It's kind of like what you see on Christmas morning on the special. 15 years ago, it was the parade. It was more of a Christmas morning celebration. Now it's kind of like an infomercial with some singing and stuff, but you get to see that awesome parade, and you get to be up close, and you have the Snope on Main Street. You have the awesome fireworks show. You get to have hot cocoa and cookies. I mean, if you're a Christmas fan and you want to go at a slower pace, sounds like this is why you're there. It's made for you. And Becca in the live chat, she's got a great point. Don't go to a park that day. Make that a day that you hang out at the resort, maybe sleep in, have a brunch, and then go at 4:00 and just take it in at a slow pace. Sounds like the perfect day.
Totally. It does. Yeah. Great advice.
some Christmas. Yeah, now I don't know if you got to go all in like people do lately and wear the pajamas. Like maybe Christmas. Scott did. Didn't Scott wear pajamas? I think he did last year.
It cracks me up. It cracks me up.
I don't know if that's mandatory.
I don't think so. I don't think it
You
is.
have to wear footies. I don't know. The footy
I think your footies would be worn out by the end of the night.
I think so. And I don't think anybody wants to see me in footy pajamas, even though I do have a onesie that's a Mizzou thing. It was a joke because it was at like Big Lots. So nobody wants to see that. All right. Anyway, we are out of here. We're going to be back again on Friday, and we're going to talk about upgrades that are worth it, even for a cheap person like Mike Ralden. We're going to talk about it because sometimes those upgrades don't cost much more, but the value in the upgrade is so worth it that you're leaving an experience on the table by not at least considering that upgrade. We're going to talk about cruise line. We're going to talk about Walt Disney World, other destinations. So be there for that. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll have the replay from Sunday night's live show where Scott gives some highlights from his recent trip to Walt Disney World. We take some calls, a lot of fun there as well. Of course, these shows are always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel and the agents over at the Magic for Less. Let me just tell you about the agents over there. They are professional, passionate agents. They are not only Disney fans, I mean, that's a given, but they are trained in the destinations. They know the latest protocols for Disney Cruise Line. They know the tips and tricks so that you're not paying extra when it comes to your Disney to your Disney trip. But most importantly, they've been there, done that. And they want to make sure that you avoid the pitfalls. And when you get to that Disney destination, you are set up for success. You're going to have a great time. You're going to have all those little tips before you leave home. So when you get there, you've got all those tools in your tool belt. You know how to have an amazing vacation. You just get to have fun when you get there and make those memories with your family. That's what it is all about as we move into this holiday season where it's Halloween, then it's Christmas and Thanksgiving. We just want you to have great trips and moving into 2023. So just swing by the Magic for Less today, fill out that free no obligation quote form, and let's get that trip on the horizon for you. Let's get it on the books. Again, a $200 deposit. It's a dream and whatever they say, that Walt Disney quote, you get that $200 deposit down, you're locked in, but you don't have to worry about it because if you have to cancel or modify, you have up until 30 days before the trip. You can get that deposit back if needed, if something were to come up, but you get those dates because Pam, we've seen this. Travel is back and dates are going quickly, even into 2023 at this point.
Crazy. I've always been a proponent of booking early, right? I like to tell people are like, when should I book? I'm like, as soon as you know your dates and the availability is there. Well, more than ever, as soon as you know your dates, put down the $200 deposit for Walt Disney World. And then for Disney Cruise Line, that as well. We also had the release of Galactic Star Cruiser for 2023 dates. Again, it's very important to lock some of these things in early to avoid disappointment, as they used to say, right?
And then we talk about Scott, and he's here in the live chat. He said it did make for a great Christmas card, the footy pajamas. So
I bet.
Yeah, beautiful. All right. Anyways, check them out today over at themagicforless.com. We'll take great care of you right away. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. That one extra click just takes you right back to the site, but it does support everything we do. So please bookmark it and use it as often as you can. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And a sincere thank you to the patrons of the show. You guys make this all possible. You allow us to put out, I know we're crazy for doing this, 3 to 4 times a week. The shows go out all around the world. And if you are crazy enough, you get a 5th show from us, Mike in the Midwest, every week. So if you want to get in on that, come on over to patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. All right, give Pam a follow on the social media at TMFLTPam on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at beourguestmike. I'd love to talk to you this week. And give us a call this Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. It's you, me, and Scotty G live on Facebook and YouTube, where we just we talk about the news of the week. So you guys determine what we talk about each week, and it's always a lot of fun. All right, we're going to get out of here and be back again on Friday. Again, upgrades that are worth it. So think about it, and then we'll have that conversation, and we'll talk about it again on Sunday night, where you can kind of continue the conversation that we start on Friday. So for Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday, but it's time to get back to work. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
Bam.
Bam. Let me save this. Episode 2146. Is Ricky home? I'm guessing she is, I hope. Let me send her the link. The link stays the same every time. Ricky. Ricky. Oh, I know I need to stand. Stop.
I know. I just got my. We must have sat down at the same time. I just got my notification.
I'm podcasting, you don't watch. I cheat and do this. This is why I get, because when I'm sick, I figured, dude, I do a lot of steps every day, so I can cheat on that. Okay, now I hit my goal. Good, I'm done. It won't let me during the football game now. I wonder if it's raining. Let me look. The radar. Let's see. Where's Ricky? Sent link. Let me see if she's home. Yep, she's home. What was I looking at? Oh, I was looking to see if it was raining. Ooh, it's not raining, but there's a big thunderstorm right to our south.
Yeah, it's so crazy here. I'm just.
And there's a thunderstorm warning. They won't play during that. Oh, it's kind of fading though. Come on, go away. Oh, there's Ricky. Getting busy. Here we go.
Oh.
I was watching how the sausage is made. Dang, everybody's getting stormed. Scott's got him, you got him, and I got him. And it was like, what's up? It's so hot here, too. It's 91 right now. That's crazy.
I know. And I saw, though, later in the week, it's going down, like it's going to be routinely in the 70s.
Oh, God bless that. That's
it's
good.
It's not raining here, by the way.
Oh, you're lucky.
It's beautiful, hot, and sunny.
It's smoking right now. It's not.
Ricky and I's colors complement each other.
Look at us. I like it.
It's like we planned it.
And we did not.
And we did not. No.
Ready to go to a football game and sweat.
And you have fun with that.
I walk into my closet and be like,
what can I wear?
What can I wear?
So
what's ready to go?
We're doing upgrades that are worth it at Walt Disney World, Disney Cruise Line, like things you can pay a little bit extra for, but are totally worth it, even for the cheap person.
Okay.
It's like dining, tickets, souvenirs.
Okay.
Stuff like that, parties.
Yeah.
Got it.
Cruise.
I call the veranda. That's mine. That's where
Cruise World. Let's think of Disneyland, maybe.
Room views. I was thinking of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll do specific. Yeah. Okay. This will be a good one.
Okay. Let's do it. Here we go. This is episode 21. What was the last one?
No idea. Because I wasn't on it.
2146.
Yep. This is 48 because the live show is 47. Here we go. Oh, Pam, your mic was kind of rocking a little bit on that last show. Is it like moving a little?
It's on my desk.
It's okay. It was just minor. It wasn't a big deal.
I was probably leaned up against my desk and talking with my hands.
What was I doing?
No.
I was giving it the.
Wow.
Look how big my hand looks right there.
That looks humongous.
Sit back.
You should see my big toe. I should show you the big toe.
No, I don't really want to see your big toe.
It's so gross.
I'm pretty sure I would throw up, so no.
I'm saying it's disgusting.
Nope.
Okay, you don't want to see my big toe. All right, here we go. 2148. Welcome to episode 2148 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from Our Guest Podcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Hope you are having a great wrap to the weekend. We are getting excited here for an awesome weekend. Of course, I mentioned this on Wednesday. It is time for some football. Now, I'm probably super tired at this point because Mizzou kicked off late last night, had to make the trek back from mid-Missouri back here to the Our Guest Podcast studios. Hopefully it was a victorious journey. I don't know at this point as we're recording this one before the game. Tonight we'll be at the H. It's a high school football game where we have the most fans of the entire season because it is Military and First Responders Appreciation Night. Now, just so you know, this is where I would like our listeners to be able to kind of see a little bit behind the scenes of where I live. I will be pushing out a link later today, early evening, Friday night, of the live stream. And I'll be going live on my Instagram from the football stadium. Now, I'm not kidding. This is a high school football game. There will be thousands of fans at this game. And I know for people down in Texas, like, shut up, Mike, we do that every Friday. This is our biggest game. The football for the game gets brought in by a helicopter, a medevac helicopter. The game ball, we have a flyover by an airplane before the game. The Patriot Guard on Harleys brings in the football team. It is insane how crazy this football game is. So if you just have a few minutes, you're sitting on the couch tonight around 7 o'clock Eastern, you got to get there with 2 hours before the game to get a seat. Like they're telling you, you got to be there by 5. The game starts at 7. It's crazy. So watch my social media at BRGuestMike. I'll be tweeting this out if you're bored and you want to see something that is awesome. And the coolest part about it is we're saluting our military and our first responders who keep us safe, who do so much for us. But this is a community who rallies behind the best in our area. And it's going to be a celebration of the little corner of the world that I live in. And I'm just excited to share that to everybody. So watch for that. I'm pumped for that. And then, of course, tomorrow, I'll be sitting on the couch watching football all day. I'm so excited. So anyway, we are going to be talking Disney today, upgrades that are worth it. And joining me today, they're upgrades over this podcaster. I'm just your basic podcaster. Let's get to the 2 all-stars, starting off with Ricky from the mouseforless.com. Ricky, happy Friday. What's going on?
Wow. I mean, I almost hung up the phone until you said that part. That part was nice. That was an upgrade. That was nice. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm an upgrade. So that's good. That's good. I'll accept it and approve it, and that's good. I'm happy with that. So,
any big plans down in the Peach State for the weekend?
I don't actually know yet. So it's possible. It's all going to depend on maybe how I feel. So that's all I'll say. I'm not entirely sure, but it's all going to depend on how I feel. So that's pretty much it.
So one of the best lines I heard was at the Cardinal on the radio the other night. I was listening to the Cardinals game, and they took out one of our better players. I think it was Pujols or somebody got kind of injured, not really injured. And they said, who's so-and-so, the report on him is that he's going to be day by day.
Right.
The announcer
That's me. Trust me.
The announcer said, but aren't we all?
Yes.
Like, isn't that the truth, man?
I'm day by day. That's where I'm at right now.
100%.
Yes.
Day by day. We don't know. All right. Joining us from up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in the greater Pittsburgh area, the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester. What's up, Pam?
The greater Pittsburgh area. Yes, for sure. The greater Pittsburgh area. It is, we're coming up on one of my favorite times of year here. I'm very excited about the fall thing.
Football season.
No, but there's, just lots of good stuff to go on, and coming up on a 3-day weekend too. So that's
not forgot about that. It's Labor Day weekend.
Right. It is. It is.
Yeah.
So it's a good day. It'll be a good week, and we're talking about something that's kind of interesting here on the podcast today. I love the idea of upgrades that are worth it. Like, you're assessing value here to some of the things. So I love that. And I think it helps people sort of plan, how to spend their money. But it's always a personal choice, right? Mm-hmm. The upgrades that are worth it to you.
Well, so I will tell you how I came up with this idea. Okay. And this literally hit me hard about 2 weeks ago. So our HVAC system in our house went out. It kaputted. And we knew this was going to happen because when we bought this house about 3.5 years ago, it had the original air and heating system in it. They told us, these things last about 15 years, and this house is about, it's about 15 years old. So you're buying this, and we bought like a policy against it with our homeowners and so forth. Now, whether they cover this, we're still waiting because it was just kind of conked. It was old, it didn't really go out for maybe we'll get coverage. We're hoping because it was like an old Freon system. They don't make it anymore. Anyway, so they come out and they're like, I'm hoping like, please tell me it's just like a part. It's one of those things like, this isn't going to be good news, but you're just like praying it will be like, when we got back from Disneyland, remember I told you that the air wasn't working? That live show, and I was melting like it's 95 degrees. I was on the air. We're taking calls just back from Disneyland. And I changed the filter and it started working. I was like, that never happens. Like it was a $2 filter and the air started working. I was like, I thought it was going to be like a $10,000 fix. Nope. So it was just like a Band-Aid. When they come out, they're like, nope, this thing's, the thing outside that sits outside the house. Nope, that thing's gone. The thing in the basement in the storage room that I look at constantly while I'm on the treadmill, that thing's all ate up. So they're like, okay, here's your 5 options. And they tell us, your house isn't that big. So you don't need this one, and this one. But they showed them to us. And I'm like, dude, like, I mean, is it going to make my house cold? And is it going to make my house warm? Like, that's all I need. Like, I mean, an air conditioner, like, you don't see the air. This is not an upgrade that is worth it to me. Like some upgrades, okay, cool. Now they did give us a Wi-Fi thermostat. Now that thing is the jam because I got on my phone now. I renamed him Iceman. So I can go on this app and I can in bed change the thermostat. That is life-changing for the record. Because now I don't have to get up and change the dial. That's how old it was. Like you had to change the dial.
Oh, wow.
Iceman, I can just get on Iceman and be like, oh, I'm a little hot, 68. Oh, it's freezing, 72. Right on the phone. I'm telling you what, it doesn't take much to impress Mike Rallman. So I was thinking about like, okay, when you get to Walt Disney World or Disney trips, what are some upgrades that you just spend a little bit more? Because that was an upgrade I didn't bite. Like I didn't bite on the deluxe system that's going to make my house like a meat locker in 10 seconds. Like I can wait 30 minutes for it to get cold. It's cool. I'm fine. So we just went with the economy system and I'm good with that. But at Walt Disney World or Disney Cruise Line or what have you, there are some upgrades where if you pay just a little bit more, you are going to see a way better experience for that. And one of those things I was thinking that really, I see this every day with people at the Magic for Less, especially when I'm working with Disney Cruise Line. This is the prime example, is that when you're booking a cruise with Disney Cruise Line, especially, is that a veranda stateroom with Disney Cruise Line is not that much more expensive than an inside or an ocean view. The main cost with Disney Cruise Line is getting on the ship. So I know you can save a little bit of money sailing in an inside or an ocean view. And don't get me wrong, those staterooms are fine. They're efficient. They get the job done. But you're talking probably even for a family of 4, and I'm just ballparking it off the top of my head, probably 5% or less cost to upgrade to a veranda. And you're going to have a larger stateroom. You're going to have access to get out there, feel the ocean air with your own veranda, have, coffee and, you could get room service delivered and eat it out there on your veranda before you go to bed at night, hear the ocean going by. I love that. I just think a veranda on Disney Cruise Line is an upgrade that is 100% worth it because it is not that much more expensive to upgrade with Disney. The main cost with Disney Cruise Line is getting on the boat. So Pam, you cruise a ton. What do you say to that?
I agree. We will not cruise without a veranda if we can possibly help it. It is 100% our number one choice. Just being able to sit out there, being able to see the ocean while you're in your stateroom is a big thing. And then to be able to open that door and go out and hear it and smell it and all of those things. It's also such a bonus when you're pulling into a port. I love to be able to see that from my room. It, I think, helps with, waking up in the morning because you have the sunlight coming in. If you want, you could always close the curtains too, but you have that. And then at night, it's dark in your room, darker than during the day. I just think that that's part of it too. I love the cruise, but I want to be able to get and to see the ocean from my stateroom and to be able to open that door and sit out there and enjoy it.
What I noticed too is real quick is that, I travel with 2 daughters that are, older and my wife. And as we're getting ready for dinner, for example, I get ready real quick. It doesn't take me long. I don't do anything to my hair. I just throw on the clothes or whatever. So while they're all getting ready, I can sit out on the balcony and just kind of chill, and just read my phone or do, listen to music. And they have the whole stateroom to do what they got to do, with the hair dryers and it just gives me an opportunity to take it in and gives me a separate space while they're all doing their thing. It just gives you like almost an extra room there to just kind of get out there, chill out and relax. So veranda on a cruise line, Disney cruise line, it's an upgrade that's worth it. Ricky, what are you thinking when it comes to upgrades, when it comes to Disney vacations?
So one of the upgrades that I have found to be exceptionally worth it is actually Disney PhotoPass. I have, when it was just a part of my annual pass and I, got it for free and I took advantage of it a lot at that point because I was like, okay, I'm getting this. Like I totally I'm going to take as many pictures as I possibly can. And then I actually learned no, it's actually really fantastic to be able to have, both me and Brian in the photos or, my whole family in the photos or whatever when I'm down there with all of them and get really fun. I mean, I've had some really creative pictures that have been taken, most of the time they're with my brother because, we act like fools, but other times, it's with cute pictures.
I see them and I get to see everybody's
Exactly.
Yes. All this nonsense. Yes.
Sometimes there's sweet pictures with Brian, whatever. So, I like the fact that, PhotoPass, they really do try and take some unique photos. So, when my annual pass, when they changed it over and they said, well, now you have to pay for it and it's $99, I was like, yeah, no, that's totally worth it to me. Like to add that to my annual pass, it's 100% worth it. I get great photos still. I love it. And then the other place, like when we went to Disneyland, me and Brian, I actually ended up paying for PhotoPass out there too. Now out there, it's a much better deal, by the way. It's like the deal that they have out there for PhotoPass is fantastic. If you don't get PhotoPass when you're out in Disneyland, you are missing out because it's a great deal, but even better than Walt Disney World. But I think that PhotoPass, the fact that you can have all those photos and all those memories and not have to worry about, who can I hand my camera off to, or I guess my phone, at this point off to take a picture of me, or whatever. It makes it so much easier. It's so much better. And I appreciate it so, so much. So, yep, I'm one of those suckers who, hopefully, Disney will decide, hey, we're going to give it back to annual pass holders for free. But even, I know, right? We're keep dreaming. That's funny. But, I will now continue to pay for PhotoPass because I really do see the value in it. I think that it's a really great great tool for guests to use on their vacations. And it's absolutely worth the money.
2 points about that. One is when we started this podcast, we actually did hand off cameras to strangers.
We did. I know we did, right?
It wasn't even phones. It was cameras.
It was actual cameras. You are correct. Yes.
Again, that's how old this podcast is.
And
second thing is, if you are a runner and doing Run Disney events, I mean, this is what Ricky just said times 10. Because I just remember before these were part of PhotoPass, my first marathon in 2015, I bought a package to get my pictures and they were inferior. They were terrible pictures by a third-party company. And I paid like $290. I might've got 30 images. Yep. And now you get like tons of all kinds of fun stuff.
I agree.
If you're a runner, oh my God.
It is such a great upgrade. So make sure you do PhotoPass. It's totally going to be worth it for you.
Ricky's on her game. Be ready, people.
Oh,
She's
God.
on her A game.
Let's hope I still have game. I don't know if I do after this, but that's
I like it. All right, Pam, what do you got for a good upgrade?
So my upgrade is a ticket upgrade, and that is to upgrade your ticket to include park hopping. And actually, I'll take it a step further. If you're thinking about visiting the water parks, that's another upgrade that you're going to want to consider before you leave home, is to add that water park option, because then for about the same amount that it costs to get into the water parks for one day, you'll have multiple days to visit the water parks as well. And the reason for the park hopping is just, I think that it sort of frees up your day. It makes it feel less stressful to me. If I'm not able to park hop, the day is stressful for me. I'm spending all day in one park. I'm not going to be able to, let's say I have 5 days worth of admission, and on day 2, I go to Animal Kingdom and it's closing early. So then there's 4 or 5 hours in the evening where Magic Kingdom is still open, or Epcot is still open, or Hollywood Studios is still open, and I want to spend some extra time there. I can't, because I don't have park hopping. Or let's just say that I realize on day 4 of my vacation that I really wish that I would have planned on spending more time at Epcot. And my last day is at the Magic Kingdom. I have no ability to park hop, so I'm not going to be able to get back to Epcot and do fill in the blank, whatever it is that I wanted to do there. For me, that's stressful. And that the small cost that it is to upgrade, and I'm saying small in the big picture of things, it's a relative smaller upgrade to add this park hopping ability to your pass. I think it just gives you a ton of freedom, and it removes some of the stress and anxiety of planning. You can always switch up your plans, and that makes a difference.
Yeah, I mean, you're buying flexibilities, what you're buying with the park hopper, especially nowadays with theme park reservations, that, okay, after 2:00, I can, at least I have the world's open to me like the old days. It's like, it's like party like it's 2019.
It is. It's a great feature. It's a great feature to have in your package as part of your tickets. So.
And I've added Park Hopper Plus, like you mentioned, to tickets for guests lately. And like you said, if you're going to go to Typhoon Lagoon or, Blizzard Beach reopens, that is a really low cost upgrade for some. I mean, you could go to Typhoon Lagoon many, many times. I mean, for like the cost of one trip.
Right. And again, it gives you another park hopping option, right? Let's just say you're tired of being at one park for the whole day. And I will be honest, that is something that happens to me. Sometimes I'll be at a park and I'll be like, you know what? Like I've done what I want to do here for the day. I want to come back in like 2 days, but for now I want to go somewhere else. And that's another huge way that we use park hopping.
So let me ask you guys, I want to have a discussion here on this one, whether it is worth it or not, because this one, I kind of go back and forth, and it's room views. Okay. So say you're staying at Riverside, or you're staying at Caribbean Beach or Pop Century, what have you, room location. You can always go with the standard view or the garden view. You can go woods view over at Riverside. You can go water view at Beach Club, say. What do you think about paying extra for an upgraded view in a room? Because I always default to standard view. Now, I don't mind walking extra because I'm always trying to get in as many steps as possible to fill my rings and that kind of stuff. Not everybody's in that kind of situation. Some people have mobility issues, and that's very important to be near the center of the resort, near the amenities, near the food court, near transportation, near the pool, what have you, because you got all kinds of views that are offered that you can lock in. Like I said, French Quarter, Riverside, you can get a pool view room. You can get a fifth sleeper. I don't know, Ricky, where do you fall when you stay at a Disney resort? Do you always default to standard view? Because I do. I don't necessarily think a room view upgrade is always worth it. What do you think? This is one that I just want to talk about. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I almost always do a standard view. I mean, no matter what I do, where I'm going. I mean, even when we went to Alani, and stayed there, I still was like, no, standard view room is fine. It wasn't a big deal to me. I knew that, we weren't going to be in the room very much, and I wasn't going to be looking outside very much. So it really didn't matter much to me at all. So I, like you, am one who's just like, standard view is fine. I don't have to pay for the extra upgrades. Now, if I was going to be spending more time at the hotel, I could see where paying for a little bit extra, view would be a little better. Now, of course, the one time when you want to actually pay for the view is, of course, when you're staying like at the Contemporary or something like that. You absolutely want to pay for that upgraded view, because I think you would be very disappointed if you at least once on in your Walt Disney World vacation travels, if you stay at the Contemporary and you didn't pay for the theme park view room. I think that would be a travesty. So I think that maybe on further trips down the road, if you're staying at the Contemporary, then you can go, okay, I've done the theme park view room.
See that again, but I see Bay Lake views, like Scott stayed in a Bay Lake view room, and like that was gorgeous.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure it's gorgeous. Yeah.
Because I know, like, I want to look out over like the Magic Kingdom and Seven Seas Lagoon. Like that's the dream.
Yeah.
But then like I'm like, God, Bay Lake would look pretty awesome too. It's a different view. It's more naturey.
It is very much a more different view. So I mean, I think if you're going to be at the resort a little bit more than I typically am, I think that paying for that view is probably going to be a little bit more of a necessity. But for someone like me, who I really am very rarely in the room when I'm in the parks or in Walt Disney World or wherever I'm traveling, the view for me isn't anything. I don't really care that much about it. So.
Now, see, Vero Mike's in our live chat, and he kind of cut off the outlier that I was going to mention at the end of this kind of conversation about room views and upgrades that are worth it. And Coronado Springs is that kind of outlier situation where it's not a view, but I think the upgrade to go from the standard view, there's nothing wrong with them either. I like the cabanas, the ranchos, and the casitas. They're totally fine, and I'm fine staying there. I have no problem with that. But there's not that much of a difference to go over to the Grand Destino Tower. And I'm telling you what, to me, that makes me feel like I'm like, like in the movie Rain Man, like I've put on my suit and I'm going down that escalator into the casino. Like I feel fancy when I'm in the Grand Destino Tower. It is that is an upgrade to me that is 100% worth it. If I want to have that experience, that is 100% worth it. It's kind of a different experience. Not really a view. Now, water view, standard view in the Grand Destino Tower, I really don't care. It's just one side of the tower over the other. But just going from the regular rooms to the tower, that's an upgrade, I think. So, Pam, where do you fall on just the regular hotels and all these views and so forth? What do you think?
So there's a few instances where I really think that when I'm going to that hotel, I want to upgrade to a different view. First of all, if I'm at Animal Kingdom Lodge, I want to be in a Savannah view room. I just think that that's part of the experience. That's what you're there for. Being able to see all those animals from your room is part of the fun of that experience. So I really enjoy that. I also really like the upgrade to a water view room at Yacht Club and Beach Club. And the water view may be of the pool, or it may be of the lake, or it may be of both. But either way, I think that that's a view that I really enjoy. I love seeing Crescent Lake there. I like, that's just part of my experience at those resorts. I also think the Polynesian has a great theme park view rooms, that view, because you get to see the castle and you'll see the fireworks and whatnot. And Wilderness Lodge actually has some fantastic theme park view rooms, although those rooms are limited. But in addition to the theme park view rooms, there is also the courtyard view rooms. And that means that you're going to have a room that's sort of in that U that overlooks the pool area. And that's a really cool view. It really makes you feel like you're part of the action. You get to see, the pool, you get to see the lake there, you get to see the boat. So I really enjoy that one too. It's really important for some people to stay in a preferred, and it's called a view, but it's actually a preferred room location at the value resorts, because that means that you're going to be closer to the main building and also the main pool. And I know that some people really, really enjoy that. At the moderates, I think that at some of the resorts, having the water view is really cool, especially like at Port Orleans. You could have it of the river.
That is pretty. I mean, see, again, you got to be at the resort though. But if you are going to be at the resort, it's like you're on your honeymoon. Like
right.
that's super romantic to me.
Yeah, I agree. So I think there's things like that. I think that, the other thing that's important for people is this isn't necessarily the room type or the room view, but the room type. Some people are looking for a king bed, and some resorts have them, but it is not something that you request, or not something you can hope for, or not something you can beg for when you get to the front desk. It is a different kind of room type. Not all resorts have it. But if they do, chances are that it's going to be a different room type, and your chances of getting that for free are slim to none, because there are lots of people who are going to pay for that. So that's something to think about too when you're thinking about all the different kinds of rooms.
Yeah, they're usually on the corners at the moderates. Like if you ever notice with the two windows,
Yeah.
like French Quarter and Riverside, the Kings. So here's one thing about Animal Kingdom Lodge. You mentioned that Savannah View room. This is just how my brain works. I equate that to when you get a Savannah View room at Animal Kingdom Lodge to a veranda on a cruise line. Do you kind of see it? Like you have that place to sit there and kind of, instead of looking out at the ocean and the beauty of the ocean,
Right.
like you have that place to kind of sit and have your coffee and watch the giraffes and the wildebeest and stuff.
Yeah, that's that's the main attraction, right? What is outside your window at Animal Kingdom Lodge. And I agree. That's exactly why I think so many people are interested in that. It's morning coffee or afternoon refreshments of some sort, drink in the evening. It's a great location for that.
All right, Ricky, how about another? Because you nailed it with Memory Maker. What do you got? PhotoPass.
All right. So another one I'm going to very strongly suggest is actually one that I haven't done personally, but know that it is a great value, and it is going to be the way that I do this from now on, because you guys have talked about it, and trust me when I say this sounds absolutely perfect, like the perfect way to do this. And that is to see at least the Magic Kingdom fireworks. I think that dessert party is so key, especially if you do the dessert party where you actually, because there's two different types. There's one where you can be, in where the Tomorrowland Terrace was, and you can sit under the cover and everything like that. But then there's the other one where you can actually be out in the hub and in the hub grass. And that's the one that I would do. So that way, like, you still get to see a front-on view of the castle and get to see the fireworks that way. But you're not like surrounded by all of humanity. You're only surrounded by a few pieces of humanity, a few people, humanity. So yeah, it's just not as intense, and I don't feel like strangling people. So that's always good too. I mean, that's part of the reason why I don't like to watch fireworks. It's just because I don't like to be in that, pool of people. So with the dessert party, I think that I've definitely been convinced, even though I haven't done it officially, like I'm convinced that that's the way to do it, because I can't be, I just feel like a sardine. So I hate that feeling. And it's really part of the reason why I don't like to watch the fireworks at the Magic Kingdom, especially because I just hate that feeling. So, I think, plus, you get desserts. So, and other things with it. So, that sounds like a win-win to me, I'm going to say. So I think that that's absolutely worth it. Worth spending the money for. And if you are looking to see fireworks, I think that's the best way to do it.
Three things: lower crowds, hub grass,
yes,
sweet treats.
Exactly. Boom. It's the trifecta right there. I'm just saying. Yeah.
You win. Good. You're 2 for 2. All right, Pam, give us another upgrade. What are you thinking?
Yes, I agree. I agree on the dessert party. And on the same sort of token, I also think that the party tickets, if there's a party that's going to be going on while you're there, then it's great to think about trying that. I think that Disney, we're all so glad that the regular parties are back in some ways. But that they're going to include the fireworks and the parades and all of that. It's just not only extra time in the parks, but this is an extra special time. And I encourage people when they buy party tickets to take advantage of all the events that are only happening during the party. And not only are there only events that only take place during the party, but there's also foods that are only available during the party. There is merchandise that is only available during the party, and lots of exclusive things going on. So make sure that you take advantage of that and go and do it.
That's a good call. Now here's mine. I thought Ricky was going to steal it because she started talking about fireworks, because mine has to do with fireworks too, but mine's year round.
Okay.
This is one that's been going on for years. We've done this probably 4 or 5 times.
Oh, yes.
It is one of the,
it is.
If you can get a group of people together, it is one of the most low cost VIP feeling experiences you can have. It's a fireworks cruise out of like a yacht club over at, at the Crescent Lake. So you can do this for Harmonious, or you can do it over at Seven Seas Lagoon out of the Contemporary. I think it's out of the Contemporary. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Or for Enchantment. And you get to, this is on the pontoon boats. We're not talking about taking out the Grand One, even though
it's amazing.
I'd have a captain's hat and some white skinny jeans for that one.
That was amazing.
You're going to go all in.
That's right.
So I'm talking about the pontoon boats, because they hold about like 14 to 15 people. They hold quite a few people. You get like canned sodas, and you can bring a couple snacks. They have like pretzels, bagged like Doritos and stuff like that. But I mean, they're not that expensive. And if you divide it between like 3 or 4 families, you're talking probably like $20 a person or so when you break it down cost per person.
Yeah.
To have like an hour on the water to just kind of relax and watch the fireworks from a super cool perspective. That is one of the best deals going at Walt Disney. That's an upgraded fireworks experience that is a no-brainer. Now, it does take some work to get the reservation, but we've done this many times. Pam, were you on the one where we did it at Christmas when it was so cold and the boat almost sank out in Seven Seas Lagoon? Were you on that one?
Yes, when we took off, like the front went down.
Yes.
The front went, yes.
It was like
yes.
a medium thing.
We had gloves on. We had scarves. It was really cold.
You're like reenacting the Titanic that night. I was like, dude, we're going to go down into this icy Seven Seas Lagoon. It doesn't usually happen like that. I know I'm not selling it at this point, but it was awesome.
No, you are not.
They rarely.
Yeah, exactly. I just like all of a sudden they came back to me like it was a cold night and the pontoon boat started to sink. No, I'm just kidding. Right. We all escaped with minimal frostbite, but it was awesome. But I'm seriously, it's not. I mean, if you do it with just like 3 people, kind of expensive. But like if I got my family and Scott's family and Ricky and the Foresters, we could probably all fit on one boat, and we divide it up 4 ways. It's super like affordable.
It is.
And you get to cool around like you're, Thurston Howell out there, from Gilligan's Island. It's awesome. Ricky doesn't know who I'm talking about, but it's okay.
I do. It's fine.
Okay, cool. All right, Ricky, let's go around one more time. Give us one more upgrade.
All right, so I'm going to do one for Disney Cruise Line, and I think it is absolutely worth it to do their upscale dining. Of course, Palo is the more reasonably priced one, and it's whether I've done both brunch and dinner actually every single time if I can do it, because I think that both are absolutely worth it. But I'm going to talk about the experience that I had at Remy. Remy, we all, Pam and I and a few others, we went to Remy. Mike was a little too nervous to go. He was scared about the food.
See, that's an upgrade. Texas Roadhouse is fancy.
Exactly. It was a little too fancy for Mike to try to even go for. But, I thought, what the heck, might as well go for it and see how it is. And I have to tell you, it is, hands down to this day, one of the best meals I've ever had in my entire life. I have dreams about this meal. So I'm just saying, like, if you ever get the chance to do something like this, absolutely take it. It is worth it. I mean, it's a lot of small portions, all things considered, but you're eating so many small portions that you do end up getting full throughout the night. So you don't feel like you're like, oh, it's so tiny. And how am I ever going to get full? Trust me, you do. But it was seriously like, when I tell you it was the best meal I think I've ever had in my entire life, it was the best meal I've ever had in my entire life. Like, it was so, so good. So if you ever have the chance to try either Remy or as Enchanté on the Wish, I would absolutely 100% go for it, because I don't think you're going to be disappointed.
Awesome.
Now Mike would be, but
no, I love Paolo because
Paolo is excellent. Yes.
Well, plus because I'm platinum, so I get my freebie.
Yeah, okay, you get it for free. I'm not there yet, Mike. Don't rub it in. Yeah,
I'm saying that's an upgrade that's worth it because it's covered.
Don't rub it in. I know. I'm way behind now. We all
got it. We all got to work hard to get up there.
Yeah, thanks.
You'll get there. All right, Pam, give us let's wrap it up with one more upgrade and then we'll call it a 3-day weekend. What do you got?
Okay. So I'm going to say that I think one of the things that is totally worth the upgrade is when you're staying there on property to consider the club level. If only for part of your trip. And there, yes, Vera Mike is saying club level is a great upgrade. It's expensive, but always worth it. I agree. And it does encompass something. There is a value there in terms of that you offset that by the fact that you can get a continental breakfast every morning. You can get snacks in the afternoon. You can get appetizers in the evening and drinks, and even desserts. So lots of things to think about in that space. But yeah, I think that it is worth it. I think that especially if you're celebrating or you're just looking for something special, the upgrade in that space is worth it.
Even to add on, is the back end of a trip, right? I mean, maybe you don't do it for 7 days, but you do, 5 days regular, and then maybe add on the last 2 days, and you go hard in the parks for the first 75% of the trip, and then take a load off and have some pool days, and really chill out and enjoy it, treat yourself.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Vacation, that's a problem is we never slow down in vacation. We go. So I mean, we vacation, but we vacation hard.
Yes.
It's kind of nice to recover. All right, well, cool. So those are some upgrades, but we'll continue the conversation on social media. So tweet me your upgrades that are worth it at Be Our Guest Mike, and I'll retweet those this weekend as you're hanging out, and we'll get a list going there for the good of the cause so we can all kind of think about these things for our next Disney trip. And then even better, on Sunday night, we'll have the live call-in show, you, me, and Scotty G. So give us a call on Sunday night, 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central. We'll continue this conversation. So if we left something out, and I'm sure we did, let us know. We'll have that conversation on YouTube and Facebook again, Sunday night, 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central. Give us a call and we'll have some fun with that. Don't forget, today's show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel, even over a Labor Day weekend. The agents over at the Magic for Less are standing by to help you plan an amazing Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or even Adventures by Disney trip. So swing by the website. That's a great place to get the conversation started. I know we're having a big family birthday here for 3. We're having my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, and my father-in-law's birthdays here at the house this weekend. So when you get family together, what do you talk about? Vacations, right? If you're doing that, hey, that's a good time to get that quote form filled out. Look for some availability. Start talking about a vacation. We're here to help you this weekend, even then. So just swing by, fill out that quote form. We'll get back to you right away with some pricing, some availability, and we'll go from there. But we promise to take great care of you from the time you fill out that quote form. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link to shop online. Excuse me. That one extra click really does help us out. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons, including Ricky's dog. I forgot the dog's name. Holy cow. I forgot the dog's name.
Daisy.
Daisy there. She's so excited because she is a super fan of the Be Our Guest podcast. If you want to be a super fan and support us, come on over to Patreon. You'll get that bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. It's patreon.com/Be Our Guest podcast. Give Ricky a follow. I'm sure you'll see Daisy on the Instagram at Ricky Nibs. Pam's at TMFLT Pam. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. So give us a follow on the social. We'd love to talk to you. And we'll be back again on Monday with another fun trip report, even on Labor Day. That's what we do. So for Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend. Have some fun. Enjoy some football. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And we'll see you real soon.
Sorry, I heard her go. I heard her start to growl, and I'm like, uh-oh, and then I hit the button, but she barked before I got to it. So
totally got, and I was about to sneeze, so I was just trying to stifle that sneeze.
Uh-oh.
So got it.
Got it.
Back to school and gave me the crud from the kids.
Oh no.
So I'm taking cold medicine. All right, well, I got to roll because I'm
go do your thing.
Okay.
Watch some football. All right.